Yo, welcome back to Let's Build the Ultimate Indoor Theme Park. This is your manager, AttackingTucans. Yeah, you're my employee now, what you gonna do about it? And today, we're gonna start off by finally building the roof to the left wing of the theme park. And then after this, we're gonna build the Pink Pony Club. More information coming soon. But last episode of this series, we did a lot of decoration in this left wing, decorating the trop house, the roller coaster, and now it's time to finally cap it off so we can match its sister wing on the other side of the theme park. Now, it was way easier and faster to build the ceiling on this side because I mainly just copied what I did on the other side and zoomed through it. But I'm happy we're finally getting this side capped off because this theme park hasn't looked super symmetrical in a while, and this is going to help immensely. So I am recording this episode from Missouri. I'm visiting my family, which is something I do once a year. I'm currently down in Branson, Missouri, and while I'm recording this, I have some views out the window of some beautiful Ozark mountains covered in luscious green trees. But this visit to Missouri has been extra special because last week, my younger sister Brooke got married, and she's the youngest sibling out of 4 of us, and she was the first to get married, so GG's. I am really happy for her though, and it was a perfect wedding, and we danced for like 6 hours during the wedding reception party, and the DJ did a pretty good job. My sister recommended a lot of good songs, but the artist that my sister and her friends seemed to love the most was Chappell Roan, who I mentioned last episode because I also love Chappell Roan because she grew up in the same area as me in Missouri, and she's just an amazing artist all around. And during the party, I think the song that they got the most excited for singing-wise after Bohemian Rhapsody was Pink Pony Club. And the Pink Pony Club is a song that talks about Chappell Roan dancing in a bar in West Hollywood named the Pink Pony Club. But it's not a real club. It's based off of another club. And since the Pink Pony Club isn't real, I thought, hey, maybe we can just build it in Planet Coaster. And we already built the Trop House, which is my club, so why not build another? So the location of the Pink Pony Club is going to be above the station for the RMC coaster on the right wing. I wanted to build it pretty far up and suspending into the coaster pit a little bit, so when people went onto the edge of the dance floor, they could look out the windows and overlook the entire coaster pit. Now, because of where I built it, I was a little bit limited with the amount of space I had, but I'm okay with that because I didn't want this club to be too big. I wanted it to be more of the size of a large dive bar. And then I'll put a DJ booth with a dance floor, and since there's less space, it'll be easier to pack it out with dancers. Now, another thing I've never done in Planet Coaster is I've never built anything that has a really feminine energy. So my goal for the Pink Pony Club was to go really femme. That's why I'm putting pink trim on everything, and I'm gonna decorate it and just make it kind of girly. And another reason I put this club on the eastern wing of the park is because this whole side is Western themed, and I wanted this Pink Pony Club to have a feminine Western architecture style. It's a girl saloon for the baddies only. Now, the views from this overhang are gonna be absolutely gorgeous. Gonna have a huge group of people out here, and I put a bunch of supports so we could hold it up, and they're just gonna be partying and dancing to the music while they look out the windows and see a bunch of roller coasters just rushing around everywhere. But I put a ton of these logs to make sure everything was really sturdy, and y'all haven't really seen the front of it yet. I worked on it a little bit, but I forgot to record it. But the front of the Pink Pony Club is looking pretty nice. Let's pull the camera out here and get a better look at it. It's still really simplistic, but we are getting there. We are just getting started. And we also have to recolor the carousel and make it pink as well to tie everything together. I'm happy I came up with this idea because this little upper pocket felt a little bit empty and bland, but I think putting this club here is definitely going to make full use of this location. Now it's time to build the DJ booth. I am centering it here so people can surround the DJ and make it more of a boiler room style club, which is a DJ style that's a little bit more intimate than having a DJ on a stage that nobody else is allowed to get behind. Put a little bit of technology up here and building my own record decks. Looking great. And I'm not sure if you noticed, but I put 5 drink stands inside this club. And I was hoping that would bring a lot more of the guests inside here. Gonna throw up some pink cowboy boots, and it's looking really cute. It's coming together. So the last couple episodes have been talking about a lot of Planet Coaster 2 updates as we've been getting them, and I asked you guys a comment question where I wanted to know what type of scenery themes you wanted as DLC or what type of IP collaborations you wanted. This first comment said that they wanted a steam or cyberpunk theme, which would work out really, really great. We never ended up getting that for Planet Coaster, but there's just so many odd and end type of pieces that exist in steampunk and cyberpunk that I think could just be used for any environment or detailing. This next comment wants a medieval or jungle. These are pretty generic, but I think some really good medieval scenery would be great. It feels like Planet Coaster 1 really just didn't supply with its castle pieces or types of scenery that could help you really build detailed castles. They kept it pretty simple, so I'd like to see them really evolve and flesh that out. This comment said that a Marvel IP DLC would be great because they just watched Deadpool and Wolverine, and I also saw that. It was hilarious. But with how many good Marvel characters we have now and just the whole entire universe being fleshed out so well, it would be really cool to be able to build theme parks around these environments that we've seen so many times. So I definitely think better Marvel scenery would be great. This next comment is suggesting Harry Potter scenery, which I can't believe Universal Studios in Florida has 3 Harry Potter lands and 3 of their different parks now. They're just going all in on that. But I do agree that the Harry Potter universe has so many unique ideas that could lead to just a plethora of great scenery pieces, and that would be really fun to use to decorate our own parks. Plus, most people my age grew up reading and watching Harry Potter religiously, so I think that would just click really well. And the next one suggested Nickelodeon DLC, which, if you didn't know, Mall of America is themed after Nickelodeon. All of the rides are either based off of like SpongeBob or Paw Patrol, or they even have an Avatar The Last Airbender ride, which this next comment also suggested Avatar The Last Airbender. But I think Nickelodeon would actually be one of the most realistic collaborations, just because they have put their IPs inside some malls, and I think like just SpongeBob scenery would work really well, especially with Planet Coaster 2 having water parks. And Nickelodeon really likes involving themselves with video games a lot. They've been making Racers, a Smash Bros style game. They've been reviving the SpongeBob platforming game, so heck, I think that would be one of the best case scenarios there. And this one says Disney collab. What? I don't know, Disney is kind of crazy. I don't know if I want Disney putting their fingers on Planet Coaster, even though I would love the scenery pieces. I'm just afraid of Disney affiliation, so I might pass on that just because of that. I believe Planet Coaster is going to be playable for the first time by the public at a convention next week, and that will be a big release of new information for us. And I'm looking forward to seeing what it gets announced next. Now, several episodes ago, we had a comment question that I never got back to, where I asked you guys about your opinions about the merger between Six Flags and Cedar Fair, potentially monopolizing the theme park business in America a bit more. A few people were actually pretty excited about it because it meant more scenery collaborations, but lots of people were not too excited about it because of the fact that now one company is owning all these theme parks and potentially making it more of a monopoly. But then others were a bit more optimistic because I think Cedar Fair is the ones that are kind of holding the reins here, and they have a better track record. So it's possible that they're going to apply better business practices to Six Flags and make those parks a better experience, because they have been dipping recently, according to a lot of people saying stuff online. Okay, so I just took a break commentating and I did some research, and I found an interview on YouTube of the new CEO of the Six Flags Cedar Fair merger. His name is Salim Basoul, and he was interviewed by a YouTuber named Colin, who has a YouTube channel named Collywood. Some of the takeaways were that the past couple of years since the acquisition has begun, they have been focusing on beautification of the parks, just adding flowers, repainting things, more of like the simple things, and also just restructuring the pricing and season pass structure. But then he emphasized that all the exciting changes were happening over the next 3 to 4 years now that these first 2 years have gone by, and they were going to focus on adding unique rides to all the parks that are rides that you can't ride at any nearby parks, making you really want to visit theme parks again. And then the biggest thing, which is super exciting for Six Flags parks, is that he wants to invest a ton of money into scenery to make the lines leading up to the rides way more immersive. I'm guessing similar to like Disneyland and Universal, because they're setting pretty high standards with that. And he just really wants to focus on guests not getting bored, especially when they're waiting in lines, and that they're really just gonna push themselves in those regions, because that's one of their biggest downsides. He said some other biggest focuses for the theme parks right now are automating things and making it easier to use your phone for payments and for using the apps and integrating that into your experience to make things as simple as possible. He says a huge focus is on events. That way there's things for people to do when it's really hot outside and they want to go indoors, and other holiday-related events and fests, especially the Fright Fest. He said he's also trying to make it so the employees are as happy as possible so they can actually be ambassadors for the park, because he said since it's an entertainment sector, it's very important that the employees are happy and encourage the people to be at the park and come back. And lastly, he ended on the fact that he wanted to regain their thrill dominance by 2026. Which, that's what I like to hear. I feel like they've been slacking there, and I want to see them regain some of these records. So bring it on, Six Flags / Cedar Fair, which is pretty much almost all the theme parks in America that aren't Disney or Universal. Overall, it was a pretty good interview, and it has me pretty excited about the future of the Six Flags parks. Anyways, we are just about finishing up our detailing for the Pink Pony Club today. I got it about 95% done. In the next episode, I'll add some tiny little details, but it's kind of hard to build a building 100% your first attempt at it. Sometimes it's best to take a break and come and add the finishing details later. But really happy with how pretty this is. And the pink merry-go-round off to the corner, it ties it all in so well. Having a feminine western area tucked up here in the corner just seems to work really well. I'm really excited about it. It also feels like a pretty original idea, so I like being able to explore some new architectural territory. The PPC is looking pretty good up there, but we are not done building yet. We are now going to go underground near the station of the very first roller coaster that we put in here, this Intamin Impulse. And we're going to start doing some work down here, starting off by placing a flat ride. I don't really know what this thing is, but it had the look I was going for. And all I'm doing down here is I'm extending the western scenery underground. And then we'll futurize it a little bit by adding some cool lighting effects. I still love the lighting in Planet Coaster, and I really hope the lighting is just amazing in Planet Coaster too. That's one of the things I'm super excited to see upgrade. I'm very curious if there will really be any reason to play Planet Coaster 1 once Planet Coaster 2 comes out. I really hope not. I hope Planet Coaster 2 is better in every possible way, to the point where Planet Coaster 1 becomes obsolete. I know that's kind of sad to say, but if we're still playing Planet Coaster 1 after Planet Coaster 2 comes out, that means there's something like fundamentally wrong with the sequel that ruined the game, and I really don't want that to be the case. I want it to be so good to where there's no reason to ever look back. I haven't played the sequel to City Skylines, the city builder game, but I've been hearing the original City Skylines game is better than the sequel, City Skylines 2, and that's a bit unfortunate to hear. I hope they improve the game so that's not the case, but simulation games, it's pretty tricky. Another game that kind of evolved too much and got ruined through too much DLC is The Sims. I feel like The Sims used to be way better back in the day, and then through all the extra stuff they try to add on to it, it just kind of made the game feel bloated and it was off-putting. On a side note though, if the next Sims game was in VR, that would be really awesome. Imagine VR chat, but Sims edition. I'd be all about that. There's probably a mod for that. I'm not gonna play it if there is, so maybe I'm not all about that. But I'm all about that for the people who would be all about that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to interrupt this commentary because I bring you all a special guest. With me here is my mother.
Mama Tuki. Hello, everyone out there.
So I have a question for you. What are your 3 favorite roller coasters?
The Hell Drop at Cedar Point, the Magnum at Cedar Point, and Powder Keg at Still Your Dollar City.
Those are some really good coasters. 2 Cedar Points in there. How come you never took me to Cedar Point?
You were little and Dad and I went when you were getting babysat.
I am heavily offended hearing this information. Well, are we ever going to fix this situation?
Absolutely. And we're going to go to Canada while we're at it and see Niagara Falls.
The next question is, what is your least favorite thing about theme parks?
The lines, obviously.
Great answer. And what is your favorite thing about theme parks in general?
The turkey legs. I find where the turkey legs are, I grab them and I gnaw on them the whole time.
Would you still ride roller coasters if presented the opportunity today?
Yeah.
Is there any roller coaster you would not ride?
No, I'm still at that. Can still do it.
That's pretty metal. My mom's thrilling.
Even skydive. Skydive.
She wants to go skydiving too. Is that one of the things coming up? Have you skydived before?
Trace has. He wanted me to go with him, but I didn't. But I'd like to. I did bungee jump.
I don't think I would ever bungee jump. That's too much. Is there anything else you would like to say to the audience?
Hope everyone's having a groovy day. Stay groovy and make it a groovy day tomorrow.
If you're groovy, hit that like button. Wait, also, we need a comment question of the day. What comment question of the day should the audience answer in the comments?
So I have a question for everyone. Why do you watch Tyler? And what is your favorite shenanigans that he does on his videos? Truly curious.
All right, y'all. Why do you watch me? That's the question. Why do you watch Attacking Toucans? Thank you so much, Mom, for joining us on this video.
Have a groovy day.
And thank you all so much for watching this episode of Let's Build the Ultimate Indoor Theme Park. In the next episode, we might build some new roller coasters. So tune in. See you then. Have a groovy day.